the single most important group of characters in this entire movie has to be Angela and Scott / Pablo, okay? This is the real meat of the story. First, we'll start with the camera guy. You know, Scott versus Pablo. And I just gotta say it once again. It's like the fucking cop. Scott was throwing a bone. Pablo wasn't. Sorry. Sorry. Scott, you see him reflecting, you see him, you know, think about what's going on, you see him, you know, actually contemplate the fact that, you know, people are dying here, you know, you see him, you know, look in the fucking mirror and clean off his camera. Fuck, he kills a zombie with his fucking camera. He beats the shit out of a zombie in the face with his camera. Is there something more kick-ass in the world than that? Holy shit, you feel like you're headbutting the fucking zombie in the face with your head. It's fucking kick-ass shit right there. Holy fuck. So, yeah, that's fucking badass. You know, he drops the camera, he hands it to Angela to keep safe. Or if he has to go down, if he has to jump up on a table or some shit, you know, it's fucking, there's dynamics within the camera, you know, and he's fleshed out more. He's actually there, and, you know, he has a relationship with Angela. He actually talks to her, he fixes her goddamn hair, you know, there's a lot more talking between them. Pablo, there's next to nothing. You know, he never gives up the camera. He never looks in the mirror. He doesn't kill a zombie with his camera. He talks to Angela, but only when she talks to him first. Great. And this becomes really detrimental to the movie later on in the story. Yeah, it gets pretty bad. Like, you know, you don't feel for Pablo. You know, the relationship between Pablo and Angela is non-existent almost until you get to the ending, and then you're like, okay, now he's talking, now he's a fucking chatterbox. Okay, and you know, it's just, it's really detrimental. It's not nearly as amazing as the relationship between Angela and Scott in Quarantine. You feel like they have history, and you know, you feel like they can trust each other, and you know, it's your two best friends fighting for their lives. You know, if anybody was going to make it to the end, it was them. So you know, it really feels more genuine and important in Quarantine than it does in Wreck. And that's a lot because of how the cameraman was portrayed, unfortunately. Now, for the granddaddy of them all, Angela. Once again, I'm pretty much even between these two. They're two very stellar performances, in my opinion. Wreck, Angela is much more a quirky reporter. You know, she's really into her job and her role.
Big guys, yeah. And these are the boots. We got the pants tucked inside the boots.
It's just like the cartoons. You fall straight down into your boots.
It was the cartoons that copied all that from us.
I'm a big fireman. I'm a patrol.
She, you know, I think they provided more insight into the fact that she needed to keep filming to survive. Like, in order to have any control over her situation, she needed to, you know, to feel like she had control over something, you know, to keep the news thing going, so that, you know, for the sake of her own sanity.
On the fucking camera! Jesus! Don't you see that we need people to find out what's happening in here? Don't you get it?
Don't touch the only proof we have, for God's sake. Can't you see this? Can't you see this?
You know, they didn't really tackle that as much with Quarantine. With Quarantine, it was more, you know, the famous found footage excuse. Keep playing, we need more film to keep our movie going. You know, that's, I think that's bullshit. You know, I fault the movie just as much as anybody else for that. I hate that when people do that. You know, put the fucking camera away. You don't need the fucking camera out. You know, you're just being ridiculous. You know, you're just trying to make the movie at this point, you know. So, I fault that so badly with Quarantine. But in Rec, they actually do, I'll give it that, they actually do explain why she needs this to keep going. With Quarantine, Angela was much more reserved, and she was just doing her job. That wasn't really who she was. You know, she just a more powerful woman, a much less impressionable woman, and you know, she had less common sense than Angela from Rec, but she had a lot more internal resolve. You know, she didn't come as quick to decisions, but she could hold her own. And seeing her break is pretty damn shaking to me. Like, it fucking rocks me to the core. Like, holy shit, she's lost it. There's a amazing build up at the end for her to just lose her fucking mind when shit gets real. You know, it's a lot more well developed in Quarantine than it is in Rec, as far as the build up to her freaking out and losing her mind at the end. You know, but I cared more about Angela in Rec, her safety. Like, I personally, you know, cared about her. She was a more likable character, a more, you know, you were fucking like, no, you're gonna kill this, you know, you're gonna kill this beautiful person, you know, don't do that. You know, so, like, you actually were emotionally invested with her. So you have, which is more scary to you, seeing a child get dragged off, or seeing a warrior who has survived thousands of battles weeping like a child, you know? So, which is more gruesome to you, the loss of innocence or the tested being broken? Personally, I don't know. I think they're pretty goddamn near even. But I will say that I think I was much more moved towards the end by Angela from Quarantine's performance. It was just fucking stellar. Her screaming and ranting and raving, and it was just, ugh. It was badass. She did so amazing. She deserves every fucking commendation in the book for that performance. Badass. So yeah, that scared me quite a bit. But in the end, neither the cameraman nor the reporter really matter unless they're together. The relationship between the two is the most important thing in the entire movie. And Quarantine just did that better, because Pablo didn't exist half the time. Sorry, that's just my opinion. So I'm giving characters, it definitely goes to Quarantine, because the most important characters, though there were few that were really important at any time, the few really important characters, Quarantine did them all better. and they didn't have the blatant racism of the characters in Wreck.
For years.
Sorry,
What's
you
that,
bring
ma'am?
my father, yes?
Well, we
I
will.
really don't think that's a good idea, because who knows, maybe he's the cause of all
Oh,
this
okay.
trouble.
My father's sick, my father's sick.
I don't
He
understand
come
you.
over
Okay, please, come on.
There was no point to it. It came out of nowhere. You know, everybody was just like, Chinese, fuck you. You know, it was ridiculous. It was unwarranted. There was no need for it. And, you know, I was really put off by that. So, yeah, it made me really hate Caesar, and it made me hate a lot of the tenants in there. So, I mean, I didn't really end up caring as much when people died, because they were all fucking jackasses. But that's just my personal opinion. Although, the American version was also inherently racist, you know, pushing off the foreigners into a corner and saying, you know, don't talk, just, you know, go over there.
You speak English?
English? No.
Okay, we need everybody downstairs, so, come here. There's people down there, and we need you two to go there.
But I don't think it was as blatantly ridiculous and unacceptable as the ridiculousness of Wreck. So the characters in Quarantine really appeal to me better, and that could be because I'm not Spanish. You know, all I have are the captions and the audio dubs to see, and I can't. You know, I'm not a part of Spanish culture, so maybe there's something that I'm missing here. I don't know, but from where I'm sitting, the characters in Quarantine just seem a lot more likable and a lot less racist, and, you know, just the relationships that were most important, they tackled better.